another pregnancy related video. In today's video, I'm sharing with you guys how I am preparing my body for natural childbirth. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Michelle. I am a mom to 2 boys right now, and I also have a stepson as well. So life is pretty busy and chaotic, but with that being said, I did have 2 completely drug-free natural childbirths in the past, and I know that my body can physically do it if everything goes well. Obviously, I'm aware that every pregnancy and every labor is different, so I don't want to say that this one is going to be natural for sure, low intervention or no intervention at all, but I know that it's definitely possible for women these days to have natural childbirths. There is just so much alternatives to that right now, and I feel in my heart that a lot of people use other alternatives. Obviously, this is a judgmental-free zone. Everyone is free to do what is best for their bodies, for them, for their babies, and their families. I am just sharing with you guys my experience on how I've been getting my body ready for delivery this time and how I've done it in the past. I have definitely tweaked things from the past because I haven't had the most perfect deliveries. They have both been quick, about 3 hours long, maybe just a little bit over, from the first contraction to when baby was born, which is really good. Just because they have been quick, it does not mean that they have not been intense and crazy and painful. When you go from 4 centimeters to 10 centimeters in an hour, it is the most intense hour of your life. It's not like your body is just doing this small change at a time. It's doing this intense change. You do not have breaks between contractions. When people say, oh, sleep between contractions or rest or have some water, I'm like, what break? Like, I think I probably had, I don't know, 10-second break between all of my contractions. So it was pretty rough. Like, even from the beginning, like early labor, I was only having a minute break between my contractions, and they have been really quick. My OB actually put a note on my file to the hospital saying when she gets here, whether she's 2 centimeters or 8 centimeters, you have to admit her, you have to give her a room. She is going to have this baby quick. My last baby was born 20 months ago, so as your pregnancies are closer together, a lot of the time your labors are a fraction of the time. So that is definitely something that was a little bit nerve-wracking for me. So with that being said, I'm just going to share with you guys a few things that I have been doing, give you guys a bit of a timeline, and then move on from there. All right, so just before we jump in, before you guys do anything that I am doing on this list, please consult your midwife or your OB or whoever is following you on the journey of your pregnancy, because maybe it's working for me, maybe my OB has recommended certain ones like these, maybe I have done my research, but I am not a doctor. I am not anywhere qualified to give you guys this advice, so don't forget to mention it to them before starting anything like this. So thing number 1 is red raspberry leaf tea. I am not a huge tea drinker, to be honest with you guys. Red raspberry leaf tea, I don't really mind the taste of it. I know a lot of people don't like the taste of it. I have used this in every single one of my pregnancies, and it has definitely helped my labors. My contractions are super efficient, super productive. They have definitely helped speed up my labor. I don't know if that's just my genetics in my body or if that has helped with the tea, but I started drinking red raspberry leaf tea the majority of my pregnancy after my 2nd trimester. So during the 2nd trimester, I was drinking 1 to 2 cups a day on days where I felt okay. I felt like it gave me a little bit of nausea some days. So on days that I could, I was drinking 1 to 2 cups. And then as I progressed through my 3rd trimester, I was drinking 2 to 3 cups, and now I'm about 4 cups a day. So what I typically do is have 1 cup in the morning after my morning coffee and breakfast and all of that. And then I will also have a cup with 2 tea bags in the evening. I find that the tea really helps me relax. Whether I'm watching a show on TV or I'm in the bath or editing or just in bed comfortable, it definitely helps me relax at the end of the day. That hot kind of water and the taste is really soothing. So I have done red raspberry leaf tea, like I mentioned, all of my pregnancies, and I think it's really helping. So the second thing on my list is get up and get moving. Walking is definitely something that is going to help. Just being in that upright position, putting some pressure down on your cervix will help baby, number 1, get into the proper position for birth. Number 2, help bounce baby down, which is super good. If you are always laying on your back, number 1, you can have a posterior faced baby. Google that if you guys are interested, but that is not the most optimal, number 1, to getting labor started, and number 2, to have a successful quick delivery. So they always say don't lounge back on your couch or a recliner. If you're going to be sitting down, try sitting upright like this, or hands and knees helps as well. Walking will help. Walking on an incline will help because you're putting your body a little bit forward, and that's just getting baby in that proper position. Doing things like squatting, some prenatal yoga will definitely get your body a lot stronger for birth. You're doing some movements that are helping your hips open up wide, that are giving you some leg strength, because pushing is not just pushing. Like, it's a marathon and you will be exhausted if you don't have the strength. Most people who have easier labors are in a better physical state than people who don't. Now, don't get me wrong, people who aren't, like, I'm not in the best shape of my life. I have not been working out religiously, to be honest, at all. But I am definitely trying to stand up more, walk around more, go on my hands and knees, doing some vacuuming, you're like pushing forward. Obviously, I'm not trying to induce my labor before term, but I am trying to help my body move towards having an easier delivery that way. So get up, get moving, get into these positions. There's a ton of things on Google, Pinterest that you can look into as well that will tell you the positions that are optimal for a proper birth. The third thing is kind of with moving around. It's bouncing on an exercise ball or a birth ball, labor ball, whatever you call it, this big rubber ball that you fill up with air. There's a lot of different sizes, so you want to make sure that it's at the right size for you, but bouncing on the ball with your legs kind of spread open, I guess, definitely number one, helps open up the area like walking would and squatting would, and bouncing on it and doing some circular motions is also helping the baby engage. Now, a lot of people say don't do this too early, it brings on labor. I started at like 33, 34 weeks with my last pregnancy, and he was born at 41 weeks. So I do not think that it induces labor at all. Again, don't try this unless your midwife tells you to. But I have done it, and I just think that it helps baby get into that right position and ready for birth, but I don't think it induces labor by any means. The next thing I've been doing is reading. Reading, getting informed, figuring out the birth that you want, developing a birth plan. I did not get a birth plan for this pregnancy because I've had some in the past, and to be honest, like, I already know what I want. But I think if this is your first labor or you want to do something differently this labor, definitely write it down. Let your partner know, your birth partner know, your birth team, everyone who will be there. Let them know what you want, whether you want to sit in the bath for pain relief, whether you want to do anything for pain relief. Make sure you write it down. Make sure you know the things that you do not want to change at all. This will help you. It will also help you when you're in a ton of pain, because you might cry out for the epidural at 10 centimeters and it's not happening. Like, you're not getting it. Just know what you want. I cried out for the epidural at 10 centimeters and my husband was like, no, this is not what you want. You are perfect. You are doing a great job. Super supportive. So just make sure that you have it all written down. Get yourself informed. Like I said, do a ton of reading. There's so many natural labor books and documentaries and all of that out there. So many super informative YouTube videos. I love specifically Elle Lindquist. She is actually from around my community, so it's super exciting as well. She's also pregnant right now, which is also super fun. She's also having a little girl after 2 boys, which is super fun as well. But I have watched all of her natural labor and delivery videos and what she has done. Just YouTube research. There's so many things out there. What I have been doing, number one, is watching YouTube videos. Number 2, Googling. And number 3, I am actually reading Ina May's Guide to Natural Childbirth, which is a super informative book. There's a bunch of natural birth stories in the beginning, and then there's some tips and tricks and stuff. I do not have the book handy with me right now. I will post a picture up here somewhere, you guys can check it out. I will also link it in the description box down below, so if you guys are interested or you guys are pregnant and you want to read something like that, definitely check her book out. I got it on Amazon, so it's super easy to get. But I'm sure you can get it in your hometown as well. The next thing I'm doing for my body is to relax. I think that in previous pregnancies, I might not have been fully relaxed towards the end of the pregnancy, and that's what had got me over in Easton's pregnancy. I actually went to 41 weeks, which was dreadful. Just relax, whether it's taking a bath with some essential oils or a bath bomb, reading a book, having a cup of tea, some water, watching a video, whatever it might be, find some time to relax. yoga, meditation, taking a walk outside, just resting will allow your body to get that rest and that relaxation before birth. Read a good book, whatever it might be. If you're hyped up and stressed out, your baby will have a hard time coming out. The next thing is making sure that you're eating a nutritious diet and that you're also drinking a ton of water. Like when I say a ton, I don't mean like one of these a day. This is 30 ounces. I mean like 4 or 5 of these a day. I drink like double the amount of water now that I used to drink before I was pregnant and breastfeeding and all of that. You are growing a whole other human inside of you. Like, drink water. Number 1, eat as well as you can. You're going to want to be strong when you go into labor. Protein-rich food is definitely awesome. Lots of fruit and vegetables. Whole foods are definitely going to be more helpful than if you eat chocolate croissants every single day of your pregnancy. I can tell you with Easton, the last 4 weeks, I ate chocolate croissants like 3 times a day because my house had burnt down. It was chaotic. I was stressed out. Again, another reason why I think he came later. Drink water. It's so yummy. All right, and the last thing on my list is super controversial. So again, don't judge. I don't want to see it in the comments down below unless you have some good stories about it, because I've done it every pregnancy and it has been fine and it hasn't induced my labor, is taking evening primrose oil. You have to take a good quality evening primrose oil, or EPO as a lot of people call it, or you'll see it on mom forums. Gotta take a good quality one for it to be efficient, but it's said, now there's no studies on this that had said that it, now there's no studies on this that said that it's accurate by any means, but taking evening primrose oil is said to thin and help soften your cervix. It will not put you into labor, it does not cause contractions, it does not cause you to dilate, it won't put you in labor unless you're ready to go in labor. But it's supposed to help because your cervix is softened and thin, so once you do go into labor, it's supposed to help shorten your labor times. Now these are just what people are saying. I feel it. I have done it both pregnancies. Again, I went to 41 weeks for one and 38 for the other. I'm not doing castor oil or all of that stuff. This is just a natural substance. And a lot of people are saying if our diets as North Americans were as good as they should be, we wouldn't need these added supplements in our body. But this is just like taking vitamins or different minerals or something like that in your pregnancy, and it's just supposed to help. I started orally at about 34 weeks. Again, dosage is super crazy. Do your research, because some people go overboard and take like 5,000 milligrams a day. Some people only take like 1,000 or 500. Do your research. I cannot stress that enough, but I feel like it definitely has helped my body. Like I said, I started orally at 34 weeks, and then you can also insert vaginally. Now that is up to you. Again, do your research, talk to your midwife. A lot of OBs don't recommend it, maybe just because they don't have enough research in it, they haven't studied it, but just do what works for you. I have been doing it. If I do end up going to term and I need a bit of a boost, then I might do some natural induction techniques. But for the time being, since I am not term, I am just doing what is going to prep my body for this huge marathon of giving birth. Anyways, guys, that pretty much sums up what I've been doing to prepare my body for natural childbirth. Now, I'm sure there's a ton of other things that I have been doing as well, but those are just the main things that I have focused on in order to have a healthy natural delivery. If you guys have any comments or suggestions, kind ones obviously, or if you guys have any questions for me, don't forget to leave them in the comments down below. I try and be really active here and responding to a lot of your comments as soon as I can, and I would be happy to do that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys. My life was great till you added color.